Today we continue with our class Kosher Kitchen, and we start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim. Big topic is the same, the many forms of gossip. And today's topic is upon request. As with any Torah prohibition, one may not speak Rechilus even when he was asked to do so by someone who will be upset by refusal to comply and has the power to do him damage. This must be one must be prepared to suffer embarrassment, jeopardize his social status, or even lose his job in order to avoid speaking Rechilus. As with all forms of forbidden speech, one may not speak Rechilus upon the request of a parent, teacher, or a Rav, except when it is necessary latailas, meaning for constructive purpose. Okay. So let's do this piece again. We're going to explain. So before we start, this Rechilus, this Lashon Hara, is one of the negative commandments that person may not do. Right, and the same as any negative commandment, person must be prepared to lose everything that he has. Right. So same is here. So somebody is pushing, and we had this many occasions in my morning class. So we have several people who are managers, managers. So now something happened, and the top manager asked this lower manager. My students were like, who did it? Whose fault is it? You understand? Or his colleague, or like another manager. So what should he do? Right? So that's exactly the situation. So one more time. As with any Torah prohibition, one may not speak Rechilus, even when he was asked to do by someone who will be upset by his refusal and to comply and has the power to do the damage to him. So meaning that this person says, if you're not going to tell me, I'm going to fire you. Right? If you're not going to tell me, I do this and this for you. I'm going to take this and this benefits from you. Right? So it's tough situations, absolutely. Okay. So we always ask people, I suggest, like go to this person, guilty person, and tell them, look, they're looking for you, right? So if you like, they almost know that it is you. So it's better for you to step up, right, and said that was me, right? That's it. And actually worked in all of these cases. So he said, I know that it was you. I have all of the proofs that it was you, but for your own benefit, right? For your own benefit, it would be if you acknowledge yourself, so the damage would be less. If I would do that. Okay, all of them came forward and admitted, and it's Baruch HaShem, it's worked very well. So without jeopardizing his job, without jeopardizing his status as a Jew, that was the best. Actually, he was good in the eyes of this perpetrator as well. Okay. Okay. So one must prepare to suffer embarrassment, jeopardize his social status, or even lose his job in order to avoid speaking Rechilus. As with other forms of forbidden speech, one may not speak Rechilus upon request of the parent. So, okay, parent asks us, teachers or Rav. So even spouses, sometimes is very, very pushy. How come you're not telling me, right? But if it's not for constructive purpose, you're not allowed to. Rav, I mean, if all of this, any of these people, whether a parent, teacher, or Rav, or somebody else would explain you that it is actually for constructive purpose, you're allowed to say, right? But if it's not for constructive purpose, you're not allowed to say. Or if they're going to do something like a damage to that person, that would be much more than what Beis Din would give him, even if two witnesses would come to Beis Din. So, I mean, there are some exceptions. Okay, so we stop here. Right, except, of course, as we said, for constructive purpose. Stop here. Any question on what we said? continue. Okay, so we continue with kosher kitchen, and I think the last time we started chapter 10, and the topic is the prohibition of Pas Akum, right? Bread baked by 9 Jews, so with the introduction, and we are going to start part number 2. And the topic is the prohibition of Pas Akum. One is forbidden by the Tanaim, the sages who are quoted in Mishnah. So meaning it's even before Gemara, right? Tanaim, more than 2,000 years ago, is the prohibition of Pas Akum. So it's nothing new. Pas Akum, it's not new. Chazal were concerned that eating bread baked by a non-Jew may lead to friendliness and camaraderie, which in turn may lead to close friendship, affection, intimacy, and perhaps ultimately intermarriage. As in the case with most rabbinical decree, Chazal did not differentiate between different individual situations. So we're going to see the commentary. Thus, one may not even eat bread baked by a married old non-Jew, who has no children, even though in this case there is hardly any reason possibility of intermarriage. Okay, maybe they have a nephew, a niece or something, right? Okay, chas v'shalom. Right, so we cannot laugh at it, but it's a serious matter. Okay, so let's see this piece again, and we're going to explain. One prohibition acted by Tanaim, the sages quoted in Mishnah more than 2,000 years ago, prohibition of Pas Akum. So our sages, in a great wisdom, in foresight, they say to Jews, you're not allowed to eat bread baked by non-Jews. And as we said before, the bread was the most common food, right? The most like the basic food, right? And it means that the people would interact very often, right? So with other things there is no problem. Like if you need other things, maybe you buy them once a year or 2 times a year or something. There's no problem. But with bread, it's very close interaction and often. Chazal were concerned that eating the bread baked by a non-Jew may lead to friendliness and camaraderie. So that's so it's not like right. So the goal is not to get intermarried, right? And how many people are going to intermarry because they eat bread? So exactly as we said about the shofar, even if the one is going to do it, it's one too many, right? Camaraderie. So I mean, you working people, you nice people, you honest people, we nice people. What is the problem, right? Which in turn may lead to close relationships, affection, intimacy, and perhaps ultimately intermarriage. So that's one is going to lead to another. It's only a matter of time. They get together. When they invited them to a party, and they say, "Don't worry, we're going to set up a kosher table for you. Order from the best restaurant. We respect you very much," and stuff like that. I had that in my office many times when people come. I mean, because of nice, good meaning people, it's like nothing wrong. Like Italians, other people, they say, "Yeah, well, there is a difference. You like us, you family oriented, and we." I had this guy, my father's best friend was a Jewish, and he taught us the word mensch, and I always use this with all my Italian friends, and this okay. I mean, it's very good, and we have to have respectful relationship, but that's it. That's where it stops. All right, we chit chat and at work, but that's it, because we must work. I mean, if you give somebody a cold shoulder when you work in a team and work, it's not a good idea, right? So we have to be friendly. Okay, so just complete your work. Okay, as in the case of most rabbinical decree, Chazal did not differentiate between different individual situations. So as we saw in the Kiddush and Washing, in other cases. So we said that Chazal they did not micromanage the cases, because if they would do that, guess what? Most of the people is going to take it out of context. What is guarantee? 100% guarantee. Okay, a few people who learn every day, there is no problem. They would know the difference between this and that, but other people would not. Okay. So that's why in most of the cases, Halachah is very, very straightforward. And even in some cases, you might have rule leniently. It's only was left for discretion of Rabbi. So in this case, you go to Rabbi and he sees the situation, ask all of the questions, see details, and based on his knowledge, based on what other sages say, so he might permit us. But it's not publicly. You cannot publicly say that. That is allowed, because it's not. Commentary. This is necessary element of every halachic decree, rabbinic decree. Otherwise, anyone could rationalize and find reason why the decree should not apply in his particular situation. For example, if Chazal would have exempt bread baked by a childless non-Jew, one could maintain that even the bread of a non-Jew with children is permitted if they are not marriageable age, right? So it's like they are very young, they 11, 9 years old. So okay, what is the problem? You understand? Or age of the or of the type with whom one would never contemplate a marriage. Okay. Maybe too short, too fat, too this, too that. Okay, too tall. Doesn't matter, right? So people would rationalize, and here people rationalization sometimes. But the good thing about our classes online, I'm going to tell you, because people when they send me questions, they're prepared. Usually, hypocrites would not send in. Question, and some people, two new people contacted me today, somebody like a few days before, and they asked the question, and all of this question, even though in one case it was wrong, whatever the rationalization was wrong, but the person was innocently wrong. So when I told them it's absolutely not, so they took it and said, okay, apologize, I did not know this and that. From now on, I'm never going to do it. You understand? But other people from the city, they do not care about the answer. They do not. They just want to see you agree with me or not, right? They say on this website that this what is it? It was one clowness, right? So she said, "What are your sources?" Okay, about that, I don't know. I saw some clip, and I just ignored it. I sent her another clip, and then she found this Tikkun Habrit, and she said, I'm not going to say what name because it's a very popular website. She said on that popular website, Rabbi said, I didn't ask who and when. So there is no such a Lily, right? Lily's this name, this wife of Satan. She said, absolutely not. It's your invention. I said, but there is sources. Okay, she does not care about the sources. Understand? So that's why our sages say, Halachah is straightforward. Absolutely not. So do not rationalize. But of course, as we're going to see, they would add some exceptions. Thus, one may not even eat bread baked by married all non-Jews. So she's 77 years old, or I don't know, 85 years old. Of course, I mean, she bakes nice bread, so she does not have any children. Like, who I'm going to marry? Like, I don't know, right? But still, there is no exception, right? So, even though in this case there is hardly any possibility of intermarriage. Commentary, Rema 112.1. Similarly, the monk's bread is prohibited. Even though the monk is forbidden to marry. Okay. Maybe a woman should not buy from him. Okay. So monk's bread. So don't create your own situations. They're like excuses. Okay. Any questions on what we said? We'll continue next section. Okay. So next, so it's still part number 2, section number 2, and next topic is Pas Palter and Pas Baal Habayis. Okay, so that's what we're going to see when the Halachah splits, right? Go to left and right. So meaning who is a baker, meaning if he's a professional one, or it's like a house owner. When the prohibition of Pas Akum was originally instituted, it was not widely accepted in Klal Israel. Right? In addition, bread is staple food upon which people lives depend, and the prohibition of bread baked by a non-Jew caused undue hardship for many Jews. A family that could not bake its own bread and live in a town without Jewish baker was left without important dietary staple. Right? As a result of this difficulty, the custom developed that was eventually sanctioned by Chazal to permit bread baked by a non-Jewish baker, a Palter. Right? If no Jewish baker is available, this bread is called Pas Palter. Palter. Okay, Palter. Okay. There is a logical difference between the bread baked by a private non-professional, non-Jew, and the bread baked by a non-Jew professional baker. The prohibition of Pas Akum, so bread by non-Jew, was instituted because of the possibility of closeness and eventually intermarriage. This concern is reasonable only when a non-professional non-Jew baked the bread, called Pas Baal Habayis, okay, privately baked bread, and gives it to non-Jewish neighbor. Such a relationship can cause friendliness and camaraderie. However, when professional baker sells Pas Palter, it is a strictly business relationship. There is no social or intimate interactions, and the chance of intermarriage is greatly diminished. Okay, so there are many commentaries, and we're going to add few things to it. Okay, so Pas Palter again, it's professional baker, and Pas Baal Habayis, they say like like when they say it's Baal Habayis, like when say somebody they call like Balabos. Balabos is who is Balabos is a working person. So Baal Habayis, it's like right way to say it, but when they say Balabos, it means the working people. So today, in some sense, it's a little derogatory term, right? Meaning that the people, they do not learn as much, and some people do not learn at all. Understand? So they're not very strict in observance. Sometimes, not always, but that's what it means when they say Balabos, Balabais, like owner of the house. Okay, so we try to be careful. Okay, so I mean, people among themselves, people in this group, yeah, they can call themselves like this. For example, the shul where I just came from 6 minutes ago, that's all of them Balabaisim. I mean, children, some children like learn in kollel and yeshiva, but all of the like adults, like after a certain age, all of them are working. Okay. So again, from the beginning, when the prohibition of Pas Akum was originally instituted, it was not widely accepted in Klal Israel. Right, and even though it was not widely accepted in Klal Israel, not because we are rebellious and we did not respect our sages. It's simply because it's a difficult situation. You need to have bread every day. You need to work your whatever the jobs. Everybody's working. Everybody is doing that thing, and they don't have baker with commercial stove, right, in the town. And you need to bake bread like every day. So what are you going to do? You understand? So it was hard. It's not because people did not want, but because they had no like it was very hard for them to do that. So let's see, commentary. Tur 112, Tzaz, paragraph 4, Shach 8, introduction to book 4. We explained that whenever an enactment of Chazal was not accepted by the majority of Klal Yisrael, it does not have validity of authoritative enactment. So even though they just, these great rabbis, they made an enactment, but until as we learned before, until the majority of the nation would accept it and follow it for some time, so it's not this enactment does not have the status of a law. Understand? And it was not accepted from the beginning. Thus, it may be revoked by later, albeit less prestigious Beis Din. So, of course, they did not revoke this. I mean, till this day, we have this prohibition, right? Till this day, there are some leniencies in different cases, but prohibition is there. But our sages, as we're going to say on the next page, they modified it a little. In this case, the prohibition was not officially revoked, but certain leniencies were accepted. Exactly as we said, right? Okay. So again, the point is our great rabbis, they did not want to be like prosecutors and prosecutors for the nation of Israel. Opposite issue, they would try to defend the nation of Israel and help them in any way. But if they would create a law and pass a law, and Jewish people cannot hold by it, so that's a huge problem. So it's looked like all of them are going chas v'shalom, or many of them would be transgressors on top of our many sins. That's too much, and that's absolutely not what our great rabbis would want, right? So that's why it was conditioned. If they accept it and majority of the people can follow, yes, good. But if not, so next Beis Din, in the next generation, they can revoke it completely. Okay. In addition, bread is a staple food upon which people's life depend, and the prohibition of bread baked by a non-Jew causes undue hardship for many Jews, as we said before. So I'm not going to repeat. So I mean, too hard. It's like for many people, it was the only food available. So okay, a family could not bake its own bread and live in a town without Jewish baker. In some towns, they simply did not allow Jews to own any businesses, like as simple as it is. So it's not like they were lazy to bake the bread, right? Simply, right? It was too difficult. Without Jews, left without the important dietary staple. Commentary. Darche Moshe, chapter 2. Darche Moshe, it's Ramah. It's in another commentary. So Aruch HaShulchan. Beis Din may not institute prohibition that cause undue hardship. So again, what Beis Din does, it's only for the benefit of Jewish nation. And to protect them from intermarriage, it's a great benefit, right? But if they cannot live like with this decree, that's too much. As a result of this difficulty, it is the custom developed that eventually sanctified by Chazal, right? To permit the bread by a non-Jewish baker. So meaning he's baking for everybody. He bakes 100 loaves, 200 loaves a day. He doesn't care who is going to buy, right? So that's good. That is the bread of salesmen. Okay, no problem. If no Jewish baker is available, right? So this bread is called Pas Palter. So meaning that he said if there is no Jewish baker is available, right, you can buy from a non-Jewish baker. But some other authorities say if, for example, this Jewish baker is not very good in whatever he does, and this non-Jew bakes the best bread, stays fresh, I don't know, for a few days, all the days without all of the preservatives. So our sages gave like a pass to this also, right? Not everybody, but you have leniency. So you can go and buy non-Jewish bread from non-Jewish baker, professional baker, even though there is a Jewish baker, but his bread is not good. Okay. Continue. There is a logical difference between the bread baked by private, non-professional. So your neighbor, she's baked every day. It smells very good. A fresh bread smells very good. Especially, I guess, in olden ovens when it was almost open, like everything was open. It was unbelievable. The smell everywhere. Like people did not have all of these doors and windows like completely shut. So everybody knew like they could smell what is going on in somebody else's house. Okay. The prohibition of Pas Akum, right? So the prohibition, I guess, was against private, non-professional, meaning that they did it especially for you with love. That's the problem. Too much friendliness is not good, as we said yesterday. We have to stop this friendliness. And non-Jew, just a professional non-Jew, and bread by a non-Jewish professional baker. Okay. The prohibition of Pas Akum was instituted because the possibility of closeness and eventually intermarriage. So as we spoke before, so they're nice that they say, yeah, please come anytime. It's such a great pleasure to bake for you. And you're such a nice people, and we're nice people, and thank you. You saved us with the medicine that you gave us. You gave us this, you gave us that. So thank you very much. And that's it. It's only a matter of time. This concern is reasonable only when non-professional non-Jew bakes bread called Pas Baal Habayis, right? Meaning privately baked bread. So meaning they do it only for us, for themselves, and for us. That's too intimate relations, right? Too much. And gives the Jewish neighbor. Commentary. There are extreme cases of urgency when even Pas Baal Habayis is permitted. See, Shulchan Aruch is there. So meaning if somebody is dying or something, yeah, you can. Or there is no other bread, and you need to eat. Maybe nobody's dying. So again, emergency. Emergency does not happen every day. So we try initially do not rely on leniencies, but in case of the great need, like I don't know, you came from somewhere, and all of the stores are closed, right? And you got stuck in the traffic for 7 extra hours. Let's say, I don't know. Something like that. The whole family, you were coming from somewhere, right? And that's it. So you don't have bread to give children tomorrow, like for breakfast. Yeah, in this case, you can go to non-Jew if that's the only bread available. Ask them for bread. Okay. Such a relationship can cause friendliness and camaraderie. So this friendliness, camaraderie, as I said, so they came to me, like people coming to me and say, yeah, we're all the same. There is one God, even though we believe in Yoshka. So, but in all of these cases of Muhammad, Shmamavet, all of this, yeah, your brother. Some people on my blog, they call me cousin, a cousin. So Arabs, okay. I also call them cousin. My wife is going crazy. They're not cousins. Stop it. I mean, I'm going to argue with this Muhammad. I mean, they're not killing us. That's an amazing thing. Thanks God that they cannot kill us. Just call us cousin in a nice way, like a very respectful way. They never asked me what is my name, and I never asked what his name. So he called me cousin. I call him cousin. Okay, no problem. Such a relationship can cause, we said. However, when a professional baker sells bread, Palter, right? It is strictly a business relationship, right? So he does not care who to sell. There is no social or intimate interaction. So, I mean, there is a line of people. You're number 3 in line. Okay, you just got your bread and you're out, right? There is no, how are you? How is the family? How is the daughter? That's it. We go out. And the chance of intermarriage greatly diminished. Does it exist? Yes, it is exist. So sometimes, like in all of the stores that I go, like I don't know, they all of them nice people. I don't know. I think they're nice to everybody, not only to me. I mean, the guy that sells flowers, very nice. He said, no. Like when there are a few people, in a store, and I always ask him, is it fresh, not fresh? But when there are people in a store, I'm not going to ask him, is it fresh or not, right? Because it would be get bad impression to people that the other people that maybe he sell not fresh stuff. So sometimes I would pick up bouquet, and he would go like this, and he would get up from his chair, come. Take bouquet from my hand, put it back, and take me to another place and give me something from this morning. You understand? So they're very nice. Just because I don't pay him extra, I pay him exactly what it says on the ticket, whatever price is it. So I pay him. You understand? But this close relationship we can bring to intermarriage, of course, but of course it's not bread. It sounds like, but what I'm trying to say, I see how this relationship developed. Very simple, very simple. Okay. Continue. Tur and 112 says, nevertheless, the leniency of Pas Palter applies only to bread of a non-Jewish baker by a Palter, meaning professional. However, if non-Jew bakes Jewish bread privately, right, it is prohibited. Even non-Jew baker is a Palter. So meaning if it's a store, like bakery or a store, there is no problem whatsoever. But if your neighbor bakes, sometimes people cook and for sale, like in small batches, not too much, but it's enough for them to survive. They do it like catering, and bread, like for example, right? So from these people, you're not allowed to buy, because not everybody would go to them to buy it. So basically, they count on you. So that's not a good idea. Okay. Any questions on what you said? I'll continue.
Rabbi?
Yes.
This question on the board says, if there are Jewish bakers available, are we allowed to buy bread with kosher stamp, but likely made by a machine,
Mm-hmm.
or cheaper price, or more variety from non-Jews, like Walmart or Target?
Today, yes, we're allowed. Some people would prefer like a Pas Israel made by a Jew, but there is no, since there is a stamp, it is kosher. There is no prohibition to buy this OU, right? OU, okay, whatever is it, you can buy. Okay. I would not say they're much cheaper. I don't know, maybe like sometimes maybe it's more convenient. Okay. Any other questions? Continue. Okay, so we continue. One second, check time. Time flies so fast. Okay, so so now we go into details. Into details. Number one, so it's a subcategory number one. It says when Pas Palter is permitted. Okay, that's a good question. The leniency of Pas Palter, so again, commercially baked bread, is not unconditional. It is governed by strict rules. Sefardic and Ashkenazic customs differ with regard to circumstances under which one is permitted Pas Palter. In general, Sefardic tradition is stricter regarding Pas Akum and Bishul Akum. So before we go into details, so let's try to understand. So even though you can buy this bread baked by a non-Jew, right? There is still conditions, right? Why? What is the condition? There is still condition of food baked by a non-Jew. So it's not right. There are other things as well. Involved. So, and this is one of the few areas when the Sephardic custom is stricter than Ashkenazic, okay, in the cooking. So let's see. Right. In general, Sephardic tradition is stricter in the Pas Akum and Pas Bishul Akum. So meaning in bread baked by a non-Jew in general, right, and Bishul Akum food cooked by a non-Jew. Again, we're talking about the food. There is important that you can put on a table, you can serve on a table of a king. Okay. bread, of course, you would serve. So, commentary. This difference is based upon opposing interpretation of Talmudic sources. It is interpreted to note. It is interesting to note that different social conditions prevailing in Sefardic and Ashkenazic country during the era of Rishonim. As a rule, Jews in Muslim countries were more socially involved with their Muslim neighbors, while Ashkenazim Jews had less contact with the Christian neighbors. The barriers of Pas and Bishul Akum were more critical to Muslim countries. It's very interesting explanation. So it's not like the Ashkenazim, they try to go more leniently, right? But because this Sephardic people from the Muslim countries, they were close to their neighbors, right? Very, very close. And if you see before the war, in 20th century, you see Jews living in Iraq, Iran, Egypt. They were top people. Understand? So many of them very, very secular, but they were very close. In Ashkenazi country, it was amazing. It was beautiful. Why? These people hated us. And for example, in Russia, Ukraine, all this country, Poland, I'm not sure. So they would not allow Jews to settle in the big cities. Absolutely not. It's only limited amount was if you prove only for a very rich person, or you prove that you have a special skill, you have to pass exam. So maybe you're a jeweler or you tailor, special tailor, something like that they can take advantage of you. Yes, they would give you a permit, but otherwise Jews were very, very behind, on the outskirts, in the shtetls, even in the towns in other European countries. They would allow in Krakow, in Warsaw. In these big cities, it was a Jewish ghetto. So they say you can only live here and not nowhere else. So it was they did not like Jews very well, and the relationship were very cold, right? Very cold, and a lot of anti-Semitism, and it was actually that's why it was less stricter, because usually these non-Jews, very rare they would. Non-Jews worked for the Jews for sure, everywhere, right? But it was not such a friendliness with non-Jewish neighbors. So we tried to stay away. So Muslims were not very. Yemen and other countries, they were pushy, but not as pushy as the Christians. Christians, you convert, or we're going to kill you, or we're going to torture you, we're going to expel you. That's that way of talking to people. Okay, so when they hate you so much, there is no you're not going to intermarry with them so easily, unless person in order to intermarry, the person would have to change their faith, meaning to convert to their religion, and from their religion almost nobody converted, because church catches you, they're going to kill you, right? You and the whole family. Right? That's people were afraid, basically. Okay, so let's see. We're going into details. Sephardic custom. According to Sephardic tradition, one may not eat Pas Palter if Pas Israel, the bait baked by a Jew, can be found within one meal, 2,000 cubits. According to the most poskim, there is a distance one may walk in 18 minutes. One who is traveling may not eat Pas Palter if Pas Israel available within 4 meal, 8,000 cubits, in the direction of his traveling, or 1 meal, 2,000 cubits, in opposite side or side direction. So let's read it again. I'm going to explain. So Sephardic custom says that exactly covering the question that was just asked, and it's very interesting. So it says so Sephardic tradition that one may not eat Pas Palter if Pas Israel bread baked by a Jew can be found within 1 mil. So meaning if you are in your house, so you're stationary in this house, so and if you can go 2,000 cubits, it's it says what is it, 0.72 or 0.6 of a mile. So in kilometers, if somebody, it's like around kilometer, around, right? So okay, so if meaning like 18 minutes, 18 minutes walk approximately, right? So that's actually it's a Tchum Shabbos, like how far you're allowed to walk from outskirts of your town. So when your town, your city ends, so from that point, from the last house, or from like on the outskirts of the town, you can start walking 2,000 hours. Okay, if need to. So for whatever reason. So and it's very common people who go. To summer houses, what is it, bungalow colonies, right? Sometimes they don't have synagogue and they don't have enough people in that synagogue, right? Also possible. So when you go in a mixed colony, if you go to religious colony, if you have enough people for 7 million, right? But in the semi-religious, maybe you don't. So what people would do, or they have their own, like not a bungalow colony, but their own house. It's a summer house, so they would have to walk. So they have to be very careful to buy the house next to like in this radius, or prepare something like there is a way to extend this distance. Okay, so that's where 2,000 cubits came from. Okay. So continue. So meaning if a person is in a house and there is a and he can buy like from the grocery next to him, or Walmart, let's say, right next to his house, like this bread, or if he would walk 18 minutes, he would get to the store with Pas Israel, so he must go there. Okay, according to Sefardic custom. And commentaries say, or Chaim 259.2. Others maintain that a mile is a distance one can walk in 24 minutes. Okay. So Chaim maintains that one should follow whichever opinion is stricter regarding the particular situation. Okay. So it's 24 minutes. Let's say even 24 minutes. Okay. So if you can get there, get there walking. Okay. So I see another place regarding weather. There is this is measured by its distance or the actual traveling time. For example, one driving car can cover many miles in 18 minutes, right? So, like, of course, sages, when they say this 1 mile, they were talking about walking, right? But if you drive in a car, you can go very far in 18 minutes. Is the distance measured by amount of miles one can travel 18 minutes, or distance that one covers within 18 minutes of walk, right? It isn't clear how one measures the distance or time. For example, one left home and drove to the supermarket, which half a mile, right, or 9 minutes away. The supermarket sells only past Palter, but there is a kosher bakery one half mile or 9 minutes away from the supermarket, right? If one required to travel to the kosher bakery, since it is only half a mile from the supermarket, or may he purchase the pas Palter in a supermarket, since the bakery is in total more than mil from his home. So to summarize, so the sages asked of course in the time of Mishnah and Talmud, they were talking about walking, 18 minutes walk, right? And they translate this 18 minutes of walk into 1 mile. Okay, that's how it's the relationships. Okay, somebody said 24 minutes. Okay, but the most common opinion that I saw, like most common acceptable opinion is 18 minutes. Okay, so we're going to go by 18 minutes. So the question is 18 minutes of walking or 80 minutes of driving. So the way I see it, it's of course they left it open, right? As we see, they left it open. The way I see it, since it's like if you walk 18 minutes, you're going to get you're going to spend 80 minutes, and you're going to get tired somewhat. But if you're going to drive 18 minutes, still you're going to spend some time, and you're not going to get as tired. So why not drive 18 minutes? That's my point. Of course, this 18 minutes if it's a very long distance. I mean, you can include all of that traffic lights. Sometimes, for example, where I live, there on over every block, literally there is almost no street. When you can go three blocks, even small blocks without traffic light or stop sign. So even if you need to go somewhere not far, it can take you very long time unless you go to the HaShem that does an open miracle for you, all of the green lights. So right, if even though it's not so far, but to drive there is going to take very long time. So there's traffic lights and traffics and right. Sometimes you cannot pass from one light. Somebody's turning left, somebody's turning right. There are pedestrians crossing. What are you going to do, right? So I would say my personal thing is I would say 80 minutes driving. But it's not necessarily Halachah. Okay. Number 13. One who is traveling may not eat Pas Israel available within the 4 meal, 8,000 cubits. So now we're talking about if it's in his direction. So he's going home from work. For example, she's going home, and next to them there is no stores, but it's on their way wherever they're going. There is this 8,000 cubits. How they translate it? 2.86 or 2.39 miles. Okay, so it's what is it, 4 kilometers, something like that. So if it's going your way, no problem, right? So that's what you must do, and it's actually the same halacha. We learned exactly the same halacha. If you want to eat bread, and you don't have water to wash your hands, so they say if it's on your way, so continue walking, continue traveling this distance if you know for sure that there is water. But if it's out of your way, you have to return. Have to go left and to go right from your directions, right? So deviate from your directions, and then it's only 1 meal. So it's in some sense, let's pretend you're stationary. You're here, you go to all the other directions. Okay, very interesting. 15. Continue. So it's a Sefardic custom, so they're a little stricter. Let's see. Ashkenazic custom. Ashkenazic tradition is more lenient. Ashkenazic Jew may eat Pas Palter even if Pas Israel is available, as I said, if one of the following conditions are met. Okay, here we go. Pas Palter is tastier than Pas Israel. So here we go. So this Pas Palter, this non-Jewish baker was in business sometimes when I see on the stores we hear from I don't know from beginning of the last century or something. Some amazing very old businesses. So for sure they have a secret or two how to bake bread or do many things, right? Otherwise they would not be in business. You understand? And then you have a Jew, and he's trying and she's trying to make a living and stuff like that. I mean they're trying, but it does not mean that you're obligated. It's proper for us to support Jewish businesses if they don't overcharge, right? But okay, but if that bread is tastier, right, of non-Jew, so you're not obligated. Okay, so that's the leniency. Next one, the type of bread that one wants, not available in Pas Israel. So if somebody wants a sourdough bread, somebody wants to artisan bread, somebody wants this rye bread. Okay, some dietary bread. Okay, whatever. So if it's your preference. It's not like it's like you must have, but you prefer. There is no problem. Okay. Next one. The Pas Israel is significantly more expensive than the Pas Palter. Okay. So, and we need to know what is significantly more expensive. So let's see. What does it mean? Commentary. So usually significantly more expensive is a 16%. 70. It's a 1/6. It's 17-18% plus minus. So 18. Significance should be measured in the degree of difference it makes in terms on one's budget, right? So meaning if a person is like well-to-do person, so plus minus $2 is not going to make for him very big difference, especially he's going to buy this bread and they're going to eat for 3-4 days, like, right? So of course it should not be an issue. It would seem that a significant difference in price should be considered no less than difference in taste. 1 second. It would seem that significant difference in price should be considered no less the difference in taste. Very interesting. A minor difference in price should not be of a consideration, right? It is questionable if the other consideration may be considered. For example, if one has a store within a mill that sells Pas Israel, but it is extremely difficult to find a parking spot there, while the store selling Pas Palter has ample parking space, one may purchase Pas Palter at more convenient store, right? It's the question. So, for example, where we live, in some streets in a Jewish neighborhood, like strictly only Jews, when Jews 99%, so there is no parking. Guess what? And sometimes like you try to go there and to go to the store. It's mission impossible. Double parking is like taken. Like it's crazy. You understand? So sometimes even like unless you walk there or you have you're lucky find the parking very far away, so there is no problem. But otherwise, like it's it is there. It is available. Even if something is cheaper, but there is no parking. Or for example, like it is a drive and you have a car and it's always traffic on the road, so you're going to spend half a day. Like it's close. I mean it's not far, but it's going to take very like even they're cheaper. Some things are cheaper. We have right, so we're not going to go there because of the consideration of time. Okay. Continue. Let me see 1 second. Do we have any questions before we continue?
Rabbi?
Yes.
So there's a couple of questions in the board. Says on the subject of buying food from non-Jews. Kodalah mentioned bread baked by non-Jews. Do these parameters generalize to include food that is not baked like tortillas and unbaked breads, and drinks like coffee prepared by non-Jews?
Okay, one second. Yeah. I mean that's this tortillas. I think it's considered to be bread. What is the difference? What is the bread? It is eaten as a bread. I think it's like a flat, right? Flat thinking, right? Like a wrap or no? Or am I mistaken?
Yes, completely flat.
Yeah. It's a bread 100%. Wrap is a bread, right? And coffee is a different story. So even like plain coffee, there is no problem with plain coffee without any flavoring. But the problem would be somewhere else. The problem would be like that they would wash this coffee pot with all other things, and they might have like the same sponge they would wash from the pig sandwiches or something. So that's the issue. And with that, so this part of the of this chapter, no, not part. This whole chapter is going to talk about. I mean, it's a very very short, comparably, like it's another 11 pages. Compared to previous chapters were very long. It's talking about only bread baked by non-Jew. So the next chapter is going to be exclusively prohibition of Pas Akum, foods cooked by non-Jew. Right. So it's our next topic. But coffee, as I said, some say yes, some people would go and buy. I would not buy, and I would not tell anybody to go in to this non-kosher stores and buy anything. Okay. Anything else? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
The next question, on the subject of the distance/time limit away from kosher and Jewish distributor.
Mm-hmm.
How does the availability of food delivery services affect these parameters?
I mean, if you don't have if you don't have to pay extra, for example, somehow it's a free delivery. Somehow, I mean, let's say if you buy for a certain amount of money, let's say, I don't know, the delivery is very 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 cheap. For example, you spend more on gas than if they deliver. So if you buy for a certain amount. For yesterday, I placed an order, and it was not enough money. Because they have a limit, like in the store they have a limit. If you want a free delivery, you have to buy it such and such. So I asked my wife, what should we buy? Like otherwise you would have to pay like $7 delivery. Why would I waste? So we found what to buy, what we need. Like maybe not need so much, but it's better than to pay for delivery. Better get something that we might need in the future. You understand? So in this case, yeah, like, there is no problem. But if you need to pay like half of this price for delivery, like it does not make sense, right? So meaning you're not obligated to order delivery from the store. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. You have another question on this topic or no?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, that was the last question on this specific topic. There's more questions, but off topic.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think we're going to stop here, and we're going to stop on a table. So a table that summarizes the difference between Ashkenazi and Sefardic custom. Okay, so let's stop here. To be continued. Beezrat HaShem. Okay, so let's do our new class a little, and then we're going to go to questions. So last time we started laws of Yichud, right? And we Yichud. I think everybody were here yesterday. I think so. So we said it's seclusion of people. So men and women. Okay, so we continue with next topic, and it says parameters of Yichud seclusion. 1 second. Parameters of Yichud seclusion. Yichud seclusion described above, meaning any private settings in which the secluded party feels comfortably guarded from outside intrusion or notice. Very simple, very very to the point. Again, I'm going to explain. Yichud seclusion describes above means that any private settings. So private settings meaning nobody is going to come. It's my territory. It could be my business, my office, like as we said, office of hours, like after hours, nobody is going to come. Somebody's house, somebody's boat, somebody's car, somebody's plane, helicopter, somewhere, yacht. Right. So again, seclusion described above means that any private settings in which secluded party feel comfortably guarded. So meaning that they relax, nobody is going to walk in on them. Right, from outside intrusion or notice. So meaning nobody is going to see it, like right, or no, and now nobody is going to come. Continue. Yichud including any state of privacy. Okay. It follows that Yichud is not limited to concealment in enclosed, covered or hidden place, as in a room structure or a canopy area. In fact, any state of privacy can be defined as Yichud and includes any isolated settings, even in uncanopied, right, and unenclosed. See chapter 2. Okay, we're not going to go to chapter 2. So before we continue, let's try to understand. And last time, yesterday, so we said even parks. So we have some parks, and it's like very deep in the park, and most likely it's of the trails, most likely nobody's going to come there, right? So that's also seclusion. So one more time. It follows that Yichud is not limited concealment in enclosed, covered, hidden place. Meaning it's not only in apartment, in office, or storage room, or garage, or something, right, or in a car. As in a room structure or a canopied area. Some cover. So somehow people feel more secure if they have roof. Whatever it means. Okay, no problem. In fact, any state of privacy can be defined as Yichud, meaning that they know there is a big possibility nobody is going to see them, nobody is going to come in, come there. It's not come in. It's even if it's an open. This includes any isolated settings, even if uncanopied and unenclosed. Okay, so like somewhere on the beach, right, that. There is nobody there. Okay. Continue. Example of withdrawn private settings. Okay. So let's see. In enclosed wide open area, for example, field. I'm sorry. In desolate wide open area, there is a field, prairie, plain, desert, etc. So meaning you would see from far away, or you would hear a car from far away because it's open area. Okay, so meaning and you in some kind of seclusion, so you can see if somebody's coming from far away. Okay, desert. Okay, not too many people in the desert, I guess, unless it's like national park or something. Plain. Okay, prairie. Okay, field. So open area, so people feel secure. Next one. So as we see, it's not only office, it's not only in the city, right? Okay. Next one. In an unfrequented open area, for example, empty farmland area, grassland, etc. So, and another very good example, some private area, unfrequent. So for example, they just harvest the I don't know, grapes or whatever they harvest. That's it. They're not going to come until maybe after in the spring or something, right? Or they harvest wheat, whatever is it. They're not going to come until next year, or maybe a few months from now. So everybody's celebrating, everybody's drinking, so nobody's going to come, right? So that's empty farmland area, grassland, and etc. Okay, so there is no business for people to be there. Okay. So again, we see it's not that it's an enclosed area. It's wide open, but unfrequented with people. Next one, canoeing in a distant section of a lake. Right. So some lakes are huge, right, and they can canoe, and some maybe under the trees or something like that. It's very interesting. Section in the lake. In a hot air balloon at high altitudes, right? So very interesting. So again, in hot air balloon, nobody's going to see them. They're very high, hanging there. Very interesting. So still, it is seclusion. Next one is in a ski lift of the secluded area, especially at night. Ski lift. I did not know that ski lift. It's not like I ever skied, but that they open at night. Okay, no problem. So okay. So I mean, we're not going to check the open at night. So meaning there are not too many people, or hardly maybe no people, or maybe there are no people at all. I assume that it's off. I mean, it's too dangerous to ski at night. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they have lights. I have no idea. Okay. So, but I assume there is they off at night. So and the people like went to by the ski lift. There is nobody there, and nobody expected to come until the morning. Okay. Okay. Very interesting. So next one is Yichud in a separate locked rooms while alone in the same house. Okay. So let's see. As a general rule, a man and woman alone in the same locked or secluded house is Yichud. Right? So meaning locked, secluded house, meaning nobody's going to come, right? And it's separate, so nobody is going to see what inside what's going on. Even if if a different section of the house, and even if they're in different rooms. Just one sec. Okay, the seclusion, the seclusion and privacy within the general confines of the same locked or secluded house is classified as Yichud. So let's finish. Okay. So continue. However, there is a disagreement among the Paskim of each of them. If each of them separate, if each of them is in separate locked room of the house, and they agree to remain segregated and secluded from each other in their locked rooms. Some poskim classify this as a full-fledged state of Yichud, despite their pact to remain secluded in separate locked rooms, while others argue that this is not actually Yichud at all, but rather a severe rabbinic restriction connection with Yichud. A halachic question known as Penini Vechitzon is discussed extensively later in this work. See chapter 5. Further, where comprehensive treatment of this topic, including practical halachic conditions, are presented. Okay, so let's do this piece and we're going to stop for today. So now from open field we go into the enclosed house. Again, this action, Yichud in separate locked rooms while alone in the same house. So meaning people in the same house, but they have separate sections. So like roommates, I think. It's like, what is it? There's a bed and breakfast. I've never been to one, but somebody have a huge house, and they live in the same house. They take only one room, right? And they rent 3 other rooms of whatever, how many rooms they have extra. They rent and provide them with breakfast. Okay, so technically each couple is separate. Okay. So let's see. So all of them in the same, in a separated house, we already discussed. Now we're in the same house, different rules. As a general rule, man and woman alone in the same locked or secluded house is Yichud, even if each is in different section of the house. So these people are not related, right? And they are simple example is would be separate house, as we discussed. That's simple. But even the same house, but they have separate rooms, like this bed and breakfast, right? And they're locked. Okay. And even if they are in different rooms, right? So it's still going to be seclusion. This seclusion and privacy within the general confines of same locked and secluded houses is classified as Yichud. So here he's saying it doesn't matter you have you stay in different houses, separate houses, like locked houses, or you in the same house in separate rooms that are locked. Hotel is not like that. Hotel is more like different apartments. It's totally secluded. But here we say like we have When you say it's same house, most likely that you share a kitchen, you share an entrance, you share a bathroom, maybe, right? You share a like hallway or something, right? So that's in this situation, it's considered to be as yichud. Okay. So and then it says, however, there is disagreement among poskim if each of them is in separate like room of the house, and they agree to remain segregated and secluded from each other in locked rooms. So So we're going to see it's like hypothetical cases, right? So the hypothetical case is the people, different couples, right? Not couples, so it's different people. So of course, if it's couple, there's no problem whatsoever, right? Boyfriend and girlfriend, I guess here, or somebody else's wife, has for shalom. So one second. Room in the house. They agreed to remain segregated, right? So we're not going to visit you. Let's until the morning, and not go to the kitchen, not go to the open area. So meaning that we're not going to hear what or see what is going on in different rooms. That's the idea. Okay. Some poskim classify full-fledged state of yichud, right? So it's separate houses because they agreed. Despite the pact to remain secluded in separate locked rooms, they said even though they did not have this agreement, still it's locked, complete room. They're not nobody is going to come from outside. There is no problem. The people are not related to each other. There is no problem. Okay. While others argue that this is not actually yichud at all, but rather severe rabbinic restriction connected with yichud. Okay. Okay, so I think, let me quickly check time. I don't think we should start. No, we're not going to start next topic. So let's stop here. Any questions on what we said? Or we can go to any type. Okay. Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, so I'm going to read the questions that were in the board before the class.
Okay.
Question about Halachos or brochos. I wonder, is ice cream considered liquid in brocha rishona? Is it covered by the brocha on wine / grape juice?
Okay, that's an amazing question. So that's comes the difference between Ashkenazi and Sefardic custom, right? The tradition, yeah. So according to most Ashkenazic authorities, it's actually liquid. The ice cream is liquid. No, it's solid. I apologize. It's solid. So we would say if somebody wants to eat ice cream, like part of ice cream, or for example, if they did not eat meat, right? They eat chicken. Not chicken. Forget about chicken. They eat fish and salad and spaghetti, whatever they eat, right? So and then they want even daily ice cream. There is no problem whatsoever, right? So and let's say they have wine, so this wine did not cover. So if they did not have right, so and it's for sure a dessert. So the Ashkenazi person would say the blessing. But Sefardic, according to Rabbi himself, he said, no, it's liquid. Right? It's liquid, and they would not say. So because all of the liquids are covered by wine on one sense. On another hand, it's not. So liquids that are covered by wine is actually, so it's also not such an easy thing, right? I'm going to explain. So all of the liquids are covered by whatever you need by wine or by bread, right? Liquids also covered by bread. So all of the liquids that you need for a meal, to swallow down the meal. It could be, I don't know, coffee. Well, let's say during the meal, person likes to sip a little coffee. No problem. Okay. So during the breakfast, right? So that's coffee for sure covered. But if this coffee comes at the end of the meal, so that coffee is not covered. Understand? So, and same with this ice cream. It's most likely it's not, even there is a liquid. So if it's only was wine, without other things, without bread, so I would say it most likely for Sefardic would be covered. Right? But if it's a bread meal, I would say it would not be covered. And the way I understand, they would they construct their meal. They would first do birchas hamazon, and then they would eat all of the desserts. But Ashkenazic people, no, they consider it part of the meal because of that they connect with the meal, and all of this, all of them are going to be covered by birchas hamazon. But the blessing before, it depends on the circumstances, right? For most of the deserves we would say the blessing, but sometimes a person ate, had only slice of bread, one and a half, let's say, right? And still hungry, and because he's hungry or she's hungry, they want to eat some other mizonis. So this mizonis is a person is eating for satiation. Diet. I mean, it's still for a sweet taste, but also for satiation, because in this case it's going to be part of the meal, and it's there is no additional blessing, right? But when you finish your meal completely, you finish and you're full. But sometimes when it comes to dessert, everybody have a little more room. So that's so because why? Because you like dessert, not because you're hungry. So in this case, you would need to say separate blessing. So the bottom line again. So I mean, if for example you have a wine, like you sit with your friends, chas v'shalom, but let's say you just drink wine, right, and you want to eat ice cream, there is no problem. So in this case, ice cream is covered, right? According to Sefarim, according to Ashkenazim, not, because it's a salad. You have to say separate blessing. But if it's bread, it's most likely not covered for Ashkenazim and not for Sefarim. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So, I have a question about Halachos of brachas. So, since birchas hamotzi does not cover whole fruits throughout the meal, so for example, here in South America, we eat whole avocado as part of the meal. Avocado is a fruit, so what would be the case here? Would it be covered by the bracha, or we have to make a separate bracha regardless?
I think avocado is like this avocado is eaten for satiation. It's like usually we also like avocado, but we don't eat like straight avocado. We would like do it in a salad with other vegetables. So if you do it in a salad, there is no problem. It's covered with the blessing on the bread. I think when we say that in this case, this avocado, yeah, I understand it's fruit that grows on the ground. So in this case, my personal opinion, it's more like a vegetables, not a fruit. So it would not need a separate blessing. So when we say fruits, it's like we mean something like a dessert, like pomegranate, apple. Even banana, right? The banana is not a fruit with vegetables, but it's actually in a fruit category, like in a more dessert category, unless it's all your meal. So, for example, you have a meal, and you have Danish, right? This Danish, you have like some jelly inside, right? And big Danish, and you're going to eat banana, and you're going to drink coffee. So in this case, it is simple that since the Danish is so big, and after you're going to eat it, and this banana, with this coffee, it's going to be your complete meal. So this Danish becomes food, becomes bread. So you're making hamotzi on it, right? Because of the satiation, like it's going to be a complete meal. So when we said in Halachos of brachas, when we say for kizeisim, like 8 kizeisim, 4 eggs, like 8 ounces, right? Approximately, right? 8 ounces, a little less of mizonos. It's only when you're going to eat only that. If you're only going to eat 8 ounces of cake or something. So, but if you're going to eat cake and plus other food, so what is the difference between cake and bread? So many people don't eat many slices of bread. You eat few slices of bread and other foods. So and it's complete and it's considered to be a meal, and you satiate it not only from bread. Maybe if you eat only bread that much, you're not going to get satiated, but you satiate it from combination of other foods. It's a very strong opinion in Shulchan Aruch. So that's in this case you need this mizones was used in the place of bread, so it is bread. You understand? So we say so I always would wash my hands in this case. Okay. On one hand, on the other hand, if I don't want to eat more bread, and I want something sweet, some baked goods, and I'm still hungry, so I would not say blessing on them, because I'm going to still eat for satiation. So that's the difference. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question. Halachos, brochas, and netilas yadayim. If on Shabbos one did the Kiddush and eat a bit of bread in shul, and he has intention to eat more with family when he gets home. When he gets home, he touches his shoes to take them off, enjoying the family meal. Does he need to do a netilas yadayim again?
Yes, yeah, absolutely, 100%. So this touching of the shoes, make the hands not pure. So he has to wash and say the blessing, because the hands became impure, for sure. Yeah.
So there's another part of this scenario. Our friend mentions this, says if he's not going to say Kiddush for the family, say he is the elder son and the father would be the one leading the Kiddush, and he does not need to say more brocha. Does he need to do netilas yadayim?
In order to eat bread, yes. But I say do not say nanas bracha. It's not going to work out so well, because you even in this case of leniency, right? It is leniency that you can start at one place and finish in another. So it's only the condition that you're going to eat bread in a second place where you come. You understand? So he must eat bread in the second place, and if you must eat bread, guess what? You must wash your hands.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay, you're welcome.
Next question. Okay, so the question about standing for others. So if there is a rabbi you do not know how much about and are not connected to, if they are not a Talmid Chacham, should you stand for them? What about if everyone else in the room is standing for them and you are unsure if they are kosher? We are obligated to stand for those above the age of 70. If we do not know how old they are, would it be rude to assume that they look over 70 if they are not?
Okay, so I got some opinion from 60. Okay, so yeah, but some people do get offended. Can we please? I mean, there are a few questions in that one. Could you please read again, and we're going to break down, please.
Yeah. Standing for others. If there is a rabbi that you do not know much about and are not connected to, if they are not a Talmid Chacham, should you stand for them?
No, okay, so let's stop here. So the question who we're obligated to stand for. So if it's your rabbi, meaning that you learn most of the, majority of your knowledge from him, so you have to stand up as soon as he enters his vision. Whatever it could be, if you have good vision, maybe half a mile from now. I don't know, but probably it's too much. But whatever, he just entered the huge hall. You have to stand up until he passes you, until he sits down. right? If this is not, he's not your rabbi, but he's known Talmid Chacham, so you have to stand up for him. For example, you see when he comes in your private area. What's private area? This 4 amos, so it's like 8 feet, 7.5, 8 feet, or approximately 2 meters. So when he comes in that area, meaning close to you, you stand up. He passes, you can sit down. You don't have to wait to what he does. And in the case, in the next case, or right, when person said, if you do not know, so it would not be proper if everybody stands and you sitting. So this would be insult. So it's better to stand, like since if especially if you do not know. So it's better to stand because like it's not good to disrespect people. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So the next part, okay, I think I'll just answer this next part. Like, what about if everyone else in the room is standing for them and you are unsure if they are kosher? So next part goes, if we are obligated to send for those above the age of 70.
Usually, okay.
We do not know.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, I remember. So usually we're not obligated. I mean, if it's today, it's not the practice to stand up. I mean, if you want to, but sometimes they can get embarrassed. So, for example, you standing up, and his children are not standing up, right? So that's a big problem because they're obligated. His sons, daughters, obligated to stand up for him, and you're not obligated. So now when you're like acting stringently, right? So you put other people in bad situations. You understand? We have to be sensitive in this area too, so don't be overly righteous, right? Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question goes off. You are in a shared property with a family, but you do not live in the same building, but you share a backyard space. Should you be allowed to be in the covered backyard when there is a man home alone?
And that's what the problem is. For sure, this yard is a secluded area, and I think we had it. We had this issue. I don't know if I said it or not. So we have this girl, young girl, and she would she's from another country, and she would rent the rooms from religious people, and one room that she found in newspaper. So this lady was running like a rooming house. I don't know how many, 6 or 7 girls. Like, can you imagine the young in their 20s, right? She tried to manage them, and it's very interesting. No, it was another house. No, not in that house. I have many stories from this girl. It was in another house, and on Pesach, basically everybody, like all of these girls, they would stay here in this apartment, like in the basement, like they have several rooms. They would go to their houses for school breaks and stuff like that. And this girl, she was not in yeshiva, but she not in cemetery. She was like older girl, and the housewife, she would go to Israel. And the man used to stay alone in the house. So he was in the 3rd floor. Right? They have different entrances, right? But this lady said, you can. I mean, according to this, right? Straightforward. So she said, you have to move out from apartment for 2 weeks, like or 2 weeks or 10 days. You have to find yourself a place. I mean, she found the place, Baruch Hashem. But it was a condition. So he was. I'm not sure how old is he, but it's absolutely irrelevant. And she was young, and of course not attracted to married men. It was absolutely she did not think of it. She called us like a few days before Pesach and say, well, what should I do? Like everybody, she was new. Everybody knew that. Everybody knew, meaning that they've been living there for some time, and they would go to their families. But she did not have family. And of course, like it was very unexpected. I mean, okay, that's the story. Yes, so it should not be in the same house, even though they have different entrance, and the entrances. It's absolutely irrelevant. So he feels at home basically in his house, even if somebody pays him rent, and he knows the wife is in Israel, and that's the story. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question, on the subject of Yichud for singles.
Mm-hmm.
If a single man violates the parameters with a frum single woman, is there automatically the presumption of debt to the woman's father, and must he marry her and never divorce her pursuant to Devarim 22, 28, 29? 22, 28 to 29.
One second. She's a married woman. I didn't get. Could you say it again? Single man. Oh, sorry. We got single man and this woman. Again.
Yeah. So single man, with a from single woman instead of single.
From single. Okay. I mean, if there is nothing happened between them. Two separate things. So in the only case we make him marry if he raped her, something, right? Or something else happened. Even if it was there's no rape. It was by mutual agreement. So that only then. But here it's nothing happened. There is no proof. There is no complaints, right? Well, what they did isn't proper, but. There is I don't think there is a penalty. Maybe there is a penalty, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe lashes or something. Okay, but no force in marriage. No.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Question for the love. If you're eating a chametzi meal and you want to add of food or drink like grape juice in the middle of it,
Mm-hmm.
you have to make a separate blessing. Does it matter if they are Ashkenazi or Sefardic?
No, in this case, it absolutely doesn't matter because this grape juice is considered to be wine halachically, right? And the grape juice is very, very important. Wine is very, very important, and it's so important that, as we know, all of this. Our rituals started done over the cup of wine. So tomorrow we have a circumcision. I'm not sure in my shul or a different shul. I think it's different shul, but one of our members, right? His son has his daughter had a child. Understand? So all of this thing done over the cup of wine. Wine is very important, so it's never covered by bread, right? So even if you drink the wine in the middle of the meal, or the wine and grape juice, you say the blessing. It's not Sefardic Ashkenazic.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question, Golaf. Is it true we're not allowed to eat matzah 1 month before Pesach?
Okay, that's an amazing question. So I have to actually check. My wife told me to check, and I did not have time. So one opinion, yes. I mean, one tradition, yes. That started we start from Purim until the Pesach. It's exactly 1 month. And other tradition is more lenient. So they say you cannot eat matzah on a day off, like Erev off. So meaning in our case, you cannot eat matzah on Monday morning, but before that you can eat. So there is I need to double check that, because my wife she wants to kosher everything like before. We cannot leave everything on the last second. So we kosher the whole kitchen. So all our kitchen, they look exactly as it looks on during the year. We don't cover anything because we kosher everything. That's it. right? Of course we cover, so but we don't use any cabinets. So cabinets, like for us, all closed, everything. So whatever, like from the countertop, this and that. So she washes everything. I mean, clean. It doesn't matter. She washes, and we put everything, all of the kitchen cabinets, and then we lock them. Like we put tape. It's blue tape, paper tape. So that's it. So we don't use them at all. So whatever we need for Pesach, I mean, it's a little messy. Not messy, but we have a table, and we put all of the food on the table, like canned food, whatever. Matzah meal, all of the other things, matzah, so on the table, so we don't open those. Kosher countertop, sink, so we have to do it in advance. So she asked me to check if we can rely on, if there is such a lenient opinion. I think there is. We never used it, we never rely on that opinion. But I mean, never used that opinion, meaning that, but according to that opinion, you can make a chometz free completely, your house, apartment, and you can do actually the Shabbos with matzah, no problem. And of course you leave some chometz over to burn it on Monday morning. So, but of course you're going to search for chometz on Sunday night, but it's a different story. So all this chometz, like you can kosher kitchen, right, and you can have this chometz and tie it, like, so what we do, we wrap it, she's wrapped very well in a paper towel, right, and paper towel, and then she wraps it with a tape, so for sure it's not going to get undone, it's glued, sealed, and then you throw like this in a fire, and it burns very nicely, right? But in the meantime, you can kosher all the kitchen. Okay, so we need to double check that. I think it is true. You can counter that opinion, but some people do 30 days, some people 1 week, and some people erev off, meaning from the morning until the night. Okay. Okay, what else?
Hey, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
I am not sure if we already covered this in the answer for the Yichud question.
Okay. What is it?
But it says, okay, if we know or we see that a single man and a single woman have violated the parameters of Yichud and see them be secluded together, will they both henceforth regarded as married?
No, they're not regarding them as married. No. So yeah. And so let me explain why I think that the person is asking the question. It's before the Torah was given. You could do the marriage in 3 ways, right? You can do contract, you can do money, so you pay your money, or you can do seclusion, meaning have relations. So you met each other, you like each other, went home, have relations, and you're married. So of course you decided to stay together, right? So, but after the Torah was given, the same this applies only to non-Jews. So, meaning that if they agreed to live together forever and ever, and they moved in, so they are married. But for Jews, it's not. They have to do chuppah, and even people have the civil marriage. It's nothing. So they still, according to Jewish law, they consider not married. A lady asked me, she was scared. She heard one of our lectures, and she thought that she's a mamzer, right? Mamzer, but she's not. So the situation is, like in the general question, that her mother is a Jew and father was not a Jew, I think, or actually I don't remember. It's too simple. It was more complicated. I don't remember. I mean, I don't remember, but the thing is, because they were not married. Well, I think, I mean, the people ask me the same question, similar questions, just recently, a similar question. So in one case, I think the husband, her father was not Jewish. And in another case, they were not. Both of them were Jews, but were not married with a chuppah. So that's, not married with a chuppah. It's not a marriage. They like even civil marriage, it's not a marriage. So they just single people living together, violating the law of our Torah like every day of their life. You understand? They're not allowed to be secluded, basically, these people. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question for the Rabbi. I heard that as long as you are in one room and you say a brocha for one food or drink, you cover all the brochas for the category of brocha. Is this true for Sefardic?
I'm not sure what a person. Let's not use the room. It's it's a very specific example. Let's say a kitchen, right? Let's say kitchen. So there is a if you have intention. So if you're in a kitchen and you have intention to eat such and such foods, so you start with one. Like, of course, before saying the blessing, you have to have this food clean, prepared to be eaten in your hand. So that's first of all. And if you had intention to eat something else later on, so that's a different story. Like that's a different story in a sense. One second. So this food is included. If food was in front of you, right, in front of you on a table, it's also included in your blessing. And even if you did not mean, but people are like wherever they see the food, and later on they want it again. Okay. So different cases. But if a person goes to the different room and comes back, so the blessing stops. So we have to be careful, unless person had in mind, like they did not divert attention. So for example, a person went to a restaurant like for a few minutes and had in mind to continue eating these fruits or whatever, so then the blessing still works. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question. So on the question on whether it's allowed to be in the covered backyard where there is a man home alone, our friend says, what if there is a separate property in the backyard, like an efficiency, and the entrance to the efficiency leads to the backyard, which is about 40 feet away from the main house, but it's all in the same enclosed backyard.
So I'm not sure what is the efficiency. What is the efficiency? It's like a trailer or something, like a small house. I'm not sure what is it.
I'm not sure. Small house, yes.
It's a small house. So it's like, okay. So let me understand the situation. So it's a main house. Then you have then you have this private backyard. Well, let's say separated by like enclosed with a fence, and then at the end of it, like this person said, 40 feet away, you have this efficiency, this small house. I mean, I think it's a problem also. I mean, if the man at home alone, it's his territory, so he might feel very free to go to this efficiency. It would be a problem for sure. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question. Hypothetical question about Shalom Bayis. If one of the spouses has a very friendly personality, like to help around and socialize with neighbors and colleagues of the same gender, the other spouse feels that the person should spend more time at home between the spouse instead of helping others. Is this a valid claim? Is there a difference between the husband and the wife?
No, it's a very valid claim. Absolutely. When it says in Torah, about Adam and Chava, so now you have to to be glued to him, and you become one flesh. So if she's one flesh, if she's like his leg or his hand or his head, she must be by him, not by other people. You understand? So this friendly personality is a recipe for disaster, for sure. like all of this. In my experience, I mean, these people usually don't listen to advice, don't listen to review. They listen to their friends only. You understand? So a woman has to work on herself. And sometimes, and these stupid other women, and we had this case, and I told this guy, but sometimes the guys it's so stupid. It's hard to imagine. So this guy said, I want to do a kiruv, right? I have a girl, right? A girl, and she said, I want to do a kiruv on this guy. So can you talk to him? I try, but he does not want to listen. Okay, I can try to him. I sent the messages. There is a personal message for you, and he said, he replied to me, I think it's spam. I'm going to block you. So I sent her this message. I said, look, I try. He has only profile on the social networks. I try. I mean, you asked me. I try, and guess what? It's not like I rebuke him. I said I want to talk to you or something. I want to send you information. So, and it's some time passed, and she said I want to work, like maybe bring him close. I think he's younger than her, but this case is irrelevant. He's like cute boy. This is one of the cute boy that one of the type that looks in the mirror more than his sister. You understand? A little longer than his sister, like fixing his hair and stuff like that. And I saw the videos. I do my like background check whatever I can, like if before talking to a person, just to have some idea who I'm going to talk to. Right? And she said, no, I want to work on him. At his birthday, I want to give. And I told her it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate. It's not appropriate. The guy, he's into girls. He's not into books. She want to give him chumash. Okay, you can give him chumash, but like you're like this propriety of relationships, like appropriateness, not propriety, like appropriateness, propriety of relationship is much more important than this him maybe is going to read this book or not. You understand? So that's why I told her I care about you more than about him. So you are in, right? And I'm not sure what is the connection. Maybe she likes him or something like. But that would be problematic. Understand? So did we answer the question, or it was second part? Could you say it? Did you see?
I think that was the.
Okay. All right.
I think so.
So we try not to push it. Stay away. Okay. So the story was that this guy. He said, I want to do kiruv. I don't want to kiruv. There is one fellow, and he's alone, and he's lonely, and I want to bring him to his house. I said, it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate, like to bring every time, like from time to time, once a month. Yeah, you can invite him like a Friday night or something. Stay with you, and let him go home. I don't remember the case. Could he walk home or not? I don't remember. Whatever, that doesn't matter. But sometimes he would stay over because the guys, they ate a little more, drank a little more. Why should I go? And then guess what? And his wife liked this new guy. Guess what? I'm not sure they divorced or not, but that's the disaster. So we're trying to stay away from all of these things. You understand? So you concentrate on your wife. She must be home, not with her girlfriends. If she wants to be with her girlfriend, get divorced and spend life with her girlfriends. But if she wants to stay married, now she's with her husband and spend time with her husband. So it's not like and same with the guy. With the guys, like this one person. So my wife talks to his wife, so she tried to help him. And she's very upset. So because this guy, I think even before marriage, has this thing that he's my age, maybe a little younger, but for past many years, he would go with boys to play basketball on Tuesday night. I don't know, they go to play basketball, they go somewhere else. I never checked. I mean, it's not my business, but she said like this basketball annoys me, and he always makes make fun of it, right? But it's absolutely not proper. If she said, I like you to have a Tuesday night for whatever reason, whatever it's your personal reason, doesn't matter. We don't have to ask. I'd like you to stop going with the boys. So he must stop going with the boys. If it would be Torah learning, he's not obligated to listen to her. But go play basketball? Absolutely. She said, you're not going. He has no right to go. You understand? So it's not Torah, for sure. Hopefully it was only basketball or whatever they play. Volleyball, not basketball, volleyball. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So, next question. So, on the question about a bracha for one food or drink, covers all of the brachas for that category. Friend says on this question, what about if you are at school and you have various snacks throughout the day? Some that you do not plan on and move from room to room.
Yeah. In this case, you would need to say every time the different blessing for sure. You move room to room with a break between the foods. That's separate blessing. So the situation, the straightforward situation that we discussed, the classic situation. So you sit in you're doing something in your kitchen or in the dining room. You have this bowl of fruits, and you have some more fruits in the refrigerator, some snacks, this and that, cookies, schmookies. Okay, that's a different story. So you're still in the same room, and you do whatever you do, and all of this covered. Like even the water, wherever you drink there, you can say one blessing. Technically, if you're not going to go outside, the same blessing could be for the whole day. You have a bottle of water, like a glass, right? But moving from one place is another, and plus, if a person did not intend to eat it, it's like it's not covered for sure.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question. Hypothetical question about Shalom Bayis. If a couple have a friendly and modest Goya neighbor and tries to engage in conversation with the husband frequently, albeit the husband tries to avoid her, and the wife become a bit jealous and upset, not toward the husband, but about the situation. What should the couple do?
Okay, so the wife, that's very straightforward question. It's very straightforward answer. She's a lucky wife that her husband has this attitude, so she has to make a stand, right? Make a stand, and that's what my wife always does. She said, no, he's busy. She would shield me basically from all of these neighbors from when we're together. So she said, no. She would start conversation with the girl, this and that. No, and that's it. So and basically, I'm out of the picture. That's what the wife must do, right? So and this friendly neighbor is not into the wife. She into the husband. And guess what? The wife is always there. Guess what? Always there. So she knows that the husband comes 5:30 from work. He parks, and this somehow this neighbor always walking her dog in this time, or her cat, or herself. She always walking because she knows that 5:30 always this guy like a clock comes home. So guess what? The wife must be outside, just meeting her husband, and see after 3 or 4 encounters, maybe it's going to stop. Most likely, this neighbor would get a point. So she's not welcome. And of husband should be polite, but say I apologize. I'm in a rush. This and that, and wife should be there to support. Right. That's a must. It's not her position to get upset. It's her position to get into action and shield her husband. Absolutely, 100%.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question. Shut it off. Is there a difference in application of the laws of Yichud between married men and married women, and single men and single women who are not virgins?
No, it's not no difference. So it's very good Good question. I'm not sure what chapter we're going to learn. So in some cases there are leniency. If 3 men and 1 woman, so most likely it's nothing is going to happen. But if it is known that they're promiscuous, all of these rules, all the leniency go to the garbage. You understand? So promiscuous it's according to classic halachic language. But today, most of the secular people like that. You understand?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So on this question of Princess for the Rav, is a convert's virginity measured differently than a matrilineal born Jew?
I don't think so. No, it's exactly the same. Why should it be different? So let me explain the question. The way I understand the question. So in Ksuba we have to write amounts. So Ksuba is a marriage contract. What we promise to, if in case of divorce or husband dies, chas v'shalom, right? So the default amount, if she's a virgin, it's 200 zuz. So 200 zuz. I mean, they convert to silver, can convert to current money. It's like a standard, whatever standard is. So in olden days, 200 zuz was amount. Listen to this: that the person was able to live the whole year on this amount, meaning rent and food, all of the expense. So depends where you live, but it's like that doesn't matter where you live. Even in Africa somewhere, it's still a lot of money, I think. Right, if you can live there the whole year, and when she's not virgin, so it's about 100 zuz, right? So if she was married before or something, no problem. But otherwise it's absolutely irrelevant. Or like a natural born Jew, it's covered. It's irrelevant. The fact is the fact. So she's now a Jew anyway. So the fact is she's a Jew. She's virgin or not virgin. But I'm not sure if it's makes a big difference. Of course, if he's asked if it's to the highest importance to him and his family, yeah, so he can ask nicely, politely, right? And she would need to answer truthfully. But sometimes they understand the background sometimes, and they would not ask. They assume that she's not. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So I have this question. So I was thinking, are we allowed to play shachan here and there sometimes, or should we leave this to the professionals?
No, it's actually it's an absolute obligation. It's absolutely an obligation. If you know somebody like a similar age group and similar plus minus this like a level of observant hashkafa. So you don't have to think too deep, right? Unless you're aware of significant issues, right? So if you're not aware of any, so you must introduce them, right? Or of course ask them questions if you want to be introduced. So and that's it. That's absolutely proper. I would do it all the time. I mean, if I see some similarity, of course. I told them I'm not going to don't get me involved. I'm not going to do all of the background work. I'm not going to check. I'm not going to call this and that. And women usually like to do that. My wife does not, but some women they would spend hours and hours on the phone talking to all of the references. Okay, I mean it's I don't mean it in the back sense. It's actually for constructive purpose. Purpose. She wants to get the background of this girl or on this guy for her son or for her daughter. It's absolutely normal, and nobody is going to do the better job than mother. You understand? Or I mean somebody close. But I will say, look, I think you match. You're a good match, but you do the checking, or somebody who is helping you, let them do the checking. Don't get me involved. I simply don't have time. Okay. And few times. One time, I don't remember, a few years ago, somebody wrote to me, whatever they wrote to me, guy, and I admire what he said very, very much. Like, very nice, decent person, young guy in his 20s. And then some later, some maybe 6 months, 4 months, I don't remember, later, a girl wrote to me, whatever she said, very nice, sound good, and she said the same, like almost the same words. I fainted, almost fainted. I came out from what is it, from Shacharis, like no, not 6, it's already 7 a.m. I check my messages, I read the message from her, like, whoa, whatever she said, like in a spiritual sense, that's what I mean, right? Very, like, almost similar, like, of course I don't remember like the word, but in my mind it was exactly the same word. So I got very, very excited, and I asked him, you want to get acquainted? They live in different countries. I don't know, like today globalization, maybe it's not a big deal, but he does not speak your language so good. Like, he speaks, but not so good. I mean, of course, like, people marry from different backgrounds, so it's not a big deal. They get used to, right? One of them learned that the language of another, and they can communicate. It's not the end of the world. But she did not want, unfortunately, right? So just because you see all of the things are covered and like set like a puzzle. For me, it was like a puzzle, and I told her, look, you said to me this. You remember you said to me this the other day, and he told me like, so you very, very similar like ideas. Why don't you? And she said no, and he said no. It's a different country. It's too much. Maybe I don't speak language. Maybe she's not going to like me. This. Okay, I try, and then I said just let them go. Both of them not married now, by now. Not by now, at this point. Okay, no problem. So sometimes when we have opportunity, we try to introduce. You don't have to be professional. So, and what they're going to do, like it's their own business. So of course, if they're serious, if the Jews and they're going to observe the family purity, for sure. If they're not allowed. We made the video just recently. Not allowed to introduce them. Absolutely forbidden. And when people say no, that by the Jews, they're lonely, it's better. Like it says absolutely not. If you introduce them and they get together without marriage, they try out each other, right, for a few years before they get married. Let's say if they're going to get married, guess what? All of these things, whatever they do, waste in seed, and wait, it's going to be your fault. Why? Because you want to play shadchan, right? So. This case absolutely forbidden, but if they go into like the religious people, observant, they go into for sure mikvah, for sure they're going to do chuppah. So that's you absolutely obligated to do that. Yes.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. So on this same issue, would it be proper to introduce to people that are in the process of conversion?
I mean, if they're strong, but both of them are very strong, yeah, you can introduce them. Yeah, there's no problem. So, meaning that they would go like independently, even something that's not going to work out between them. Like not every marriage is going to work out, but if they're so strong that they would continue even like separate because HaShem is number one in their life, so that there is no problem. If one of them are flimsy, so better not to, because now they're going to get married, and the one side is going to say, guess what, and I'm not interested. And I had many cases like that. People contact me about conversion, and I ask the question, and the guy is talks like Moshe Rabbeinu, right? But then he said, I have a wife and 3 sons, and they, guess what, they're not interested. They're interested in Game Boys and basketball. You're not interested in Judaism, to a piece of bread on Friday night. You understand? So I mean, they're not into it. So I mean, I feel very bad for a person, but I mean, maybe we exchange maybe maybe one or two times, so like with the messages, and that's it. No more. Okay. So meaning when he is already in that situation, he's not going to, he wants, he does not want, like it's very hard to decide to leave his family, wife and 3 children and go like to unknown. That's not for everybody. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question, Shalom Bayis. Thank you for the Shiur question. How should a couple today decide on what should be offered in the Teshuvah?
That's not couple. That's what she decides. She said, "Look, I want this to 200 zuz as a standard, and plus I want a building in this country, right? So our apartment. So if he cannot fulfill, so there is no marriage. If she said, I love you so much, so I can marry you with a bubble gum, okay, so it's going to be a bubble gum, right? So that's up to her, whatever she wants. You understand?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question, on this topic regarding virginity.
Mm-hmm.
Does promiscuous with oneself count as losing virginity, or is it only about having relationship with others? What if someone only had relationships with the same gender, husband shalom?
So, a woman can lose virginity when she like playing with herself. It's also possible. So if it's happened like a fact, the fact is a fact. So like, or when two women when they're together, they also can break this virginity. Absolutely. So that does not matter. It was from men, but or for it was accident, right? Sometimes it is an accident, and it happens also. But the fact is a fact.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So, next question.
So one second. So I want to clarify I forgot what's I think a call. If it breaks, she's no longer virgin. But if she had relations with herself or with another woman, it does not make her not virgin. So just so we're on the same page. If nothing is broken inside of her, she's virgin. Doesn't matter. She could have relations. And when Rashi says about Rivka that she's virgin and men did not know her, right? It's from when Eliezer went to search for a wife for Yitzchak, right? So when Rivka came to the well, it says she was a virgin. Men did not know her. So Rashi said on the page, like, of course, if she was a virgin, men did not know her, right? So he said only like virgin meaning like natural, and men did not hear like from, they call it overturned table, from behind, right?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
I'm just curious. So, does the virginity of, this is probably not going to make any sense because technically it's not virginity, but does the virginity of a guy have any value at all?
I mean, it has a huge value in the case of Yaakov Avinu, right? When it says about Reuven, you're my first seed. And Yaakov Avinu was, I think, 87 years old or something, or 83. I don't remember exactly, but in his 80s, he was not 17 and a half for sure. You understand? So, and I would say just explain literally, like not in. Sometimes Torah says in poetic way, but it's not poetic way. It's a literally. It was the first seed that came out of his body. You understand? So yeah, it's Yosef had tzaddik also, but I mean, it's very hard to stay in that way, but right, very hard. And that's why we're trying to push the boys to marry earlier. I mean, if they mature, they can handle the family. Yeah, let them marry earlier. Okay, what else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So next question, question about Shidduch.
Mm-hmm.
If one knows that he is not attracted to certain group of people physically, for example, girl around the same height or taller than him, someone with certain age gap, someone from a specific background, should he clarify that in Shidduch resume? Is this a valid reason to reject a potential Shidduch?
I think it's not valid reason. So I mean, who said that the person from your background is going to be like good for you? So I have many couples. I don't know how many, but some, and they are from different background, not even close, from different social levels, and they live a good they're good with each other. Okay, so he learned her language wherever. The guy is American guy and she's Israeli, so he speaks Hebrew very good. Right, so he grew up in Borough Park through the Hasidim. He speaks with Israeli accent. Okay, no problem. I understand. In other cases also, it should not stop. Of course, I mean, if it's so important for him, there is other issues like age difference. Like many women, if even they are older, like if a woman a little older, there is no problem even at 2, 3, 4 years old. There is no problem, and unless they still want to have kids, and she never had kids, and this and that, it's closer to this age, that age, maybe in that case it should make any difference. But otherwise, should not. Taller, like shorter, maybe chubby or something. Does not matter. Like okay, so he's going to marry her, and she in 2, 3 years she's going to gain all of this weight. Like, what is it? Like you have to marry the personality, the soul of the person, the potential, not the physicality. Physicality is going to go down. It's only a matter of time. 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Anyway, and even if it's not going to go down, since a person gets used to, so it's like he's not going to notice her. This thing, you understand? So it's like something like you like very much. When you overdo it, so you start like liking it. So it doesn't matter. But if you're connected on a soul level, it's never. So for example, with my wife, I never worked with never ever. We always have things to discuss. Like we always have many things in common. And with my relatives, I don't have 2 words to say. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like 15 seconds and conversation is over. Like with most of the people. Okay. So, right? In a shul, somebody, maybe I'll show you the note. Maybe not. Somebody invite me to come. The guy knows that I'm not going to talk in shul, so he wrote a beautiful note for me, inviting that he's going to spend sponsor a Kiddush, and it's going to be special food, and he wants me to see it there. Okay, all right. So very nice. Okay. So what else? Yeah, you're welcome.
Next question, Lava. Is it allowed to introduce someone who is in the process of conversion to a Jew for Shidduch?
No, it's absolutely forbidden. Absolutely forbidden. Don't do it. Because maybe they're not going to wait until his or her conversion. Maybe the person decided not to convert. No, so absolutely not. So all of this, this is forbidden, not religious. People are forbidden So the only people that you can introduce that not going to damage each other in a spiritual sense. Meaning, if people in a process of conversion, she's very strong. She said, "I'm going." Like one lady that I said that she was in modeling, and once we told her it's a model, she dropped the next day. I think not the next day. She was trying to add the modeling with the hand or something, but after she just dropped. So she was like a fire. You understand? So she would go, and she was not a Jew. She thought that she was a Jew, but we checked the documents, and we said most likely, like 98% that you're not a Jew. So she went through the conversion with Rabbi Mizrahi, and she was like a fire. So these guys like were afraid of her, like a fire, like you out. You're not with HaShem. You don't love HaShem. You out, basically. So if a person like that shows, so she would go if he would say, I'm not going to maybe I want to postpone the conversion process for another half a year or this and that. I need to go to this country, that country. I need to climb Himalayas. So like all of this craziness. So she said, you're not out. We're getting divorced yesterday. Right, but many people would not, and they would cancel the whole thing. So that's what must be taken into consideration. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So, next question for the love is: a man allowed to marry before they go to yeshiva? Does yeshiva/girls seminary hold a early age adult from marriage?
So we have a couple, so somebody very very close to me, and they, as soon as they were actually planning it, they didn't never told me. I mean, they not obligated to tell me everything. So they actually planning. They were saving up money, and after they got married, so after maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they went to Israel, and Lerner he enrolled in yeshiva. She enrolled in seminary. Right? So they stayed there for 6 months, and they say, should we extend it? I said, absolutely. When the next time you're going to have this opportunity, right? You're going to, after that, you're going to have kids. Go try to do that, right? And they spent almost 1 year, maybe 9 months or so, and enjoying in Israel, in seminary. So it could be like all others would stay in dormitory, but on other girls, and they were renting their own apartment, like tiny apartment. That's it. So you can combine things. One should not stop another.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So with schools and high schools, what is the average/appropriate age to marry?
So appropriate age to marry. So Mishnah 7 says in 17 you should marry. Right? Of course, 17 too early today, maybe in their 20s, early 20s, and plus it depends on maturity of people. So if they would come from family when they have many children, usually people are very mature. Not it's not always, but there is big chance they're mature. That if she was the oldest, would take care of all of the babies. She know how to cook. She know how to bathe the baby, change this that, and she was like at the age of 12, she was like a grown-up woman. You understand? Ready to run her house, helping her mother. So with girls like that, and in 19, 18, 19, they're ready to get married. They're completely ready, like psychologically, even to be mother, right? But some spoiled princesses, maybe in 19 years old, they would not know what to do. You understand? So if she's like spoiled, her parents do everything for her. Like it's maybe she needs some training. Right? You understand? So it depends on the maturity of the person. Okay.
Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question from the Rav. It has been said that a man who was promiscuous with a secular woman is less qualified for a wife. That is a blessing. Is there a way to overturn this curse?
Could you say the man this man the one second was with a secular woman? Could you say it again?
Yes. It has been said that a man who was promiscuous with secular women is less qualified for a wife. That it is a blessing. Is there a way to overturn this curse? Okay, so a friend added something. Is there a way to overturn this curse? Or is it required to expect less of a blessing from HaShem if we find a wife?
No. Okay, if person does the Teshuvah, a sincere Teshuvah for this, and let's say there is no consequences, so that's a big deal. So he's a brand new product. He can get a blessing as a wife. Yeah, there is no contradiction. It's a totally different person. So that person who was promiscuous, he died. When this person completed Teshuvah, and all of these relations are disgusting to him. Right? So that's there's no HaShem that is not holding back his blessings because his past sins.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So, a discussion of the valid reasons to reject the potential shidduch, the resume. So, I mean, I would think it would be so, but would it be a good of a reason to reject a potential shidduch because he has tattoos?
I mean, okay, that's a very good question. So, if she's disgusted with this, or he has a mole like on his face, or she has like something huge. So in this case, first of all, it would be allowed to have for her plastic surgery. First of all, just to begin with. With the guy, we would allow so quickly unless it's something make him very look disgusting, because women usually not into looks, right? I mean, in guys' looks, they're more into personality, intellect. But if something would disgust the person, yeah, I mean, like from the day one. So she said, yeah, she would always think about this tattoo, like, right? So that would be a problem, right? I mean, if she said no, I mean, we're not going to force her, of course. So maybe if you can modify this tattoo that it would look like something else, maybe it would be better. Okay. So.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So, speaking of blessing of a wife and doing Teshuvah, I was thinking about Rahav,
Okay.
and also I was thinking about Rabbi Elazar ben Dordayan.
Okay.
And I'm just very, very curious about these cases where the person kind of make a 180-degree turn in their lives, like suddenly, all of a sudden, out of the blue. Someone that is so deep into their sins, so deep into impurity, especially this impurity has to do with immorality, which is so strong and gets so attached to the person's soul. So how come these things happen? How come someone that is so in between so much filth all of a sudden break everything and turn around completely and do Teshuvah and come to the realization of the existence of HaShem? And these two cases, how come these things happen?
So first of all, we have to remember these things did not happen very often, and they are like exceptional cases. But Torah gives us these exceptional cases to show us that that it is possible. So it doesn't matter how lowly a person can go man or a woman, they can. There is a way out. There is a holiness because the person was created in the image of God. So there is sparks of holiness in them. And sometimes also the people, when they do promiscuous too much, they see the emptiness of these relationships. You understand? And they want something more spiritual. They just get tired. Like you like your ice cream. I'm just making up this chocolate chip item, like ice cream or strawberry ice cream. So okay, you got yourself 7 packs of this ice cream. After the second pack, you're not interested. Like, it's the same strawberry from this brand, like the top quality, but that's it. You don't want any longer. You understand? It can stay in the refrigerator for a year now, because in the freezer. Why? Because you don't want it. You ate too much. So same with this relationship. Sometimes it's people will get like overburnt, like too much. And we just learned recently in Talmud Avodah Zarah, where they maybe not. I'm thinking. I'm not sure. Maybe it was in Mi'am Loes to the king. So whether it was Avodah Zarah in very beginning in page 7a, or it was in Mi'am Loes in the kings in a story when Naaman came to Elisha. So because I learned this week, so it's one of these things. So it said that the question was asked, why people build the golden calf, right? So to begin with, and it says, so if they were on such a high level, and one of the explanation was that HaShem wanted the whole community to sin, to be guilty, right, and do true Teshuvah. Like after they realize what they did, like they should do it true Teshuvah. And same what happened with David. So he did not need this Bathsheba, especially after the line in the Torah where it says that David says, "I purify myself. I don't have any desires, like completely." So he said, "Subdue his Yetzer Hara," and right there, Hashem gave this test Bathsheba, and he failed. And then after that, he quickly did Teshuvah. Same with the other Jews, right? In the case of golden calf. So our sages explained that 2 examples are necessary. Case of David, if you need to know, like there's individual Teshuvah, so you can still do it individual Teshuvah and be accepted. And in case of golden calf, so you can do community Teshuvah. So community Teshuvah is do much more easier. And Teshuvah, since there are merits of all of the people from the whole community, so for sure different people have different merits, and only good is combined and is accepted easily, like in Shemaim. So it's very good, right? But personally, they said, yeah, community, but I'm not community. The whole community did not sin. I was promiscuous. I was this and that. Like it's my issue. Community is not going to do Teshuvah. I live among the righteous people. So sages, yes, yet because of this, you needed a second example of David. So even he, like separately, only he sinned, but on his individual level, he was able to do Teshuvah. Right. So and that's what we learn. This example. So and it's worth it for Hashem to go to push David through all of this ordeal for be the epitome of Teshuvah for all of the generations. Understand? So the David, like how lowly in some sense he fell, but to be with somebody else's wife, even though she was married, not married, different story. Luckily she was not married, right? And he did Teshuvah, and he's still the greatest of the great. Understand? So it's very, very important to know and remember. So if a person does Teshuvah, that doesn't matter who he was in the previous life, but what matters is what he is now. Hashem judges us on what we are now, not where we were before they did Teshuvah. So it's very important. So a person should not look at them as a second-sort citizen, second-class citizen, and even though in some communities that's what they look at. They call BT, Baal Teshuvah, right? Baal Teshuvah meaning like not 100% there, unfortunately. I mean, but on one hand, on the other hand, if you ready for this attitude from some people, of course, it's not the most righteous people. Well, let's start with that. So, I mean, that's not a problem. I mean, sometimes like I was walking from shul, and it's one dark alley where I have to go. And in front of me, the guy was looking at the cars, this and that, so he was up to not something good. I don't know, maybe it's right. So what I did, I just crossed the street, and I went, and then across when I across the street back. That's it. You understand? So if you see the danger, if you see there's somebody that you don't want to be next to, just go around. Like don't have to argue. Maybe he's going to say something, and maybe not. Maybe he's not something not good. Maybe he has a gun. Maybe he has a knife. Like who needs that? You understand? So just go around. Same with these people, these empty people. Always like they did not vanish in this generation. Actually, they flourishing. So it just. Don't pay attention to that. Okay.
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Question from the hypothetical question about Shidduch.
Mm-hmm.
If after a few days we think the potential Shidduch is nice, but don't feel any special connection or chemistry with the person,
Mm-hmm.
should we continue the Shidduch?
Yes, yeah. In this case, if you don't see like don't feel something wrong right away, so yeah, absolutely continue the Shidduch. So I mean, unless person is very spiritual, so sometimes you need a month or 2 months to date to see if it's for you, right? So chemistry cannot develop like in after 2 dates. I mean, lust can develop, but not this like deep bond. Because in order to deep bond to develop, you need to know like who you're dealing with. Right? In a few hours, you cannot find out. Especially if people try to put the in front of the show, like knowingly, unknowingly. But that's what it is. Understand? So you have to let the show go for some times, like the sediment to settle, and then you see who you're dealing with. So if you need months, let it be months. 2 months, let it be 2 months. You should not rush. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
And next question from Kalava on the subject of virginity.
Mm-hmm.
To be sure I understand, the new Jewish soul of a convert is not a virgin.
The soul most likely, most of the souls that come down here is reincarnation. There are some new souls, even though some people pretend that only their rabbis have new souls. No, it's not true. We know that new souls are still coming in this world, right? But soul is a soul. When we say virginity, we say about physicality. There is a physical, like halachic definition of virginity of a woman. You understand? So soul, like, is it virginally clean soul? I mean, maybe yes, maybe no, but it's irrelevant. I mean, it's not like we did say, even though Kabbalistically, yes, we did something to deserve the soul, but it's a different story. It's not like we're going to be judged because we got the soul. It's what we're going to do with the soul. Yeah, that's our responsibility. But on the level that we got it, it's not our responsibility.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Question about this topic of Teshuvah.
Mm-hmm.
Please correct me if you have not understood it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
If a non-Jew does Teshuvah, is accepted, his Teshuvah but still is going to be punished in this life.
Mm-hmm.
And if a Jew does Teshuvah, is not punished in this life. Thank you very much, Rabbi.
Okay, so I mean, it's very good question. So it's a second. So it goes like that. So if let's start with the Jew. So if Jew does Teshuvah, and for the sins, if those were sins between him and God, like positive commandments, negative commandments, and he does Teshuvah, so he's like, I don't know, positive commandment, did not do positive commandment. So Rambam said he's not going to move out from this place until he's going to get forgiven, right? Of course, he has to pray, he has to like mend his ways, never do it again, or start doing if it's positive commandments, and Yom Kippur must pass. But if there were negative commandments without chorus, right? Chorus meaning that his life is going to cut short in this world, next world. Rambam explains this. Ramban, like four categories, and so in this case, yes, the person is going to get suffering in this world. So as a way of purification. So Teshuvah and all these steps of Teshuvah is not enough. They're not enough. So a person must get suffering as well, and then a person is going to get forgiven. So the suffering, I'm going to just summary, like highlights. So suffering could be person does not have enough money. Suffering could be that I don't know, like any suffering. So a person has to get up extra early to pray, right? A person wants to sleep, but he still or she still learning Torah, right? It does not have to be like suffering, like lying in the hospital with tube sticking out of his nose, right? It's not necessarily this suffering. So for all of the sins that would be punishable by chorus or by Beis Din, right? So, for example, for a violation of Shabbos, so a person would get this suffering in this world. But HaShem can always give a discount it, 2-for-1 suffering or something, right? So that's why we should never complain. Maybe a loss of money, maybe a loss of this and that. So we should always be happy because HaShem is cleansing us, especially if we do true Teshuvah. Okay, and technically, if a person went through all of the suffering in this world, he or she can be cleansed and go to Gan Eden right away after they die. Did enough kiruv, absolutely, right? Can go to Gan Eden. With a non-Jew, it's not so simple. If person did Teshuvah, so for a Jew again, after they do Teshuvah, go through suffering, or like some sins do not require suffering at all, so they forgiven, they're not there, clean sheet. But for others, he would still still need suffering. Of course, the Yom Kippur must pass. But technically, all of the sins, hypothetically, all of the sins can be erased in this life, except maybe this, the Hil HaShem, right? But others would get erased. With the non-Jew, it's not so simple. So the punishment is suspended, but it's never cancelled. If they did Teshuvah, so the punishment is going to be there. So even in this life, right, in the world to come, for sure. So that's a huge difference. Okay.
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
The next question goes on up. What is the difference between the virginity for a woman for being with another man and physical virginity that was accidentally broken? Non-Jew and Jew.
It's not the bottom line is the same, but if I learned this subject long time ago. Okay, so I might be wrong. I think if it was an accident, so somehow, if they can prove it, this and that, so it could be like even if it was accident and it's provable, and it's in the Hilchas Ishut in Rambam. So, but it was many years ago when I learned. So she could be considered still as a virgin, even though she's not. So because it was accident. So it happens to some girls when they 9 years old, 8 years old, they play with itself. Well, they fell in such a way that's what happened, like from trauma. It's not like even something went inside. It happens. Right. So if it's provable, there's no problem. Okay. But the way I understand in most of the cases, it's not going to be provable. I mean, it's possible, the Rambam explained, but okay. But in this generation, I think it's a little easier because, at least all of the secular people, they're most likely not. There's nobody's talking about the virginity after 9 years old or something, and that's how I speak to these parents, to the mothers and fathers, trying to convince them to take the kids from high school, from public school. Okay. I mean, sometimes you would think that mother would care that somebody would rape her little daughter, or she would become the wife of even though she's only 10 years old. And sometimes these filthy mothers, they're so indifferent. Maybe they watch too much TV or something. They say, no, it's not going. What's going on? That's fine. Why so you're so fanatic? Okay, so in this case, even the mother is not your ally. Understand? Because maybe the mother even worse than this little girl. Okay, but sometimes it works. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question. For the Rav, can or should we ask to meet a potential shidduch's parents? Is it appropriate to interrogate them, not them, the parents, but the potential shidduch, about their background and pose hypothetical questions on how they might respond to certain situations? Thank you, Rabbi.
That's appropriate. Not from a first second, but that's exactly the purpose of this date. Not to talk about flowers. Okay, you talk about flowers 3.5 minutes about it's going to be rain, not going to rain. Like who can stand these rains 1 week in a row? Okay, that's it. After 3 minutes of this empty conversation, yeah, you have to find out if it's a match, like how she's going to behave in this situation. That's perfect. That's very good questions, right? And I always suggest people just write down. Don't think that you're going to remember and stuff like that. Don't make yourself a list. Like prepare like scenarios, real life scenarios, and on every date, discuss the things. Right? What are we going to do when we get married? Okay, so let's say we got married, have Sheva brachas. All of the guests went home. Okay, next morning, what are you going to do? And she said, I'm going to probably start preparing you breakfast because you have to go to work. And he said, one second, sir. I thought that you graduated from college and you have this beautiful degree that you told me on this day that you can get a job like $80,000 paying from day one, right? She said, yeah, right, but now that I'm getting married, so I decided that I want to be a housewife. Oh, he said, but I was thinking maybe when I get married, so I can go to college to learn a little more. Oh, and now they don't know what to do, so you have to be discussed. These things must be discussed before you get married. So she said, how many kids do you have? What do you want to have? She She was I wanted to have 7 plants, different plants, and 1 dog, and 1 cat, and one bird or something, and that's it. So she said I want only 1 kid. I don't want to. I don't want to like ruin my body with these kids. Who needs them? They cry at night, so who needs them? So you right away. You know what to do. So you need to run away. Understand? But it's a very straightforward question, and it's proper. It's very very proper and advisable to discuss the things. Right? Hypothetical, but absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So, what about the first part of the question? Can or should we ask to meet a potential shidduch's parents?
Okay. Thank you very much for reminding. Thank you. Not in the first date. So after you're you like each other and you're ready to move forward or something. So yes, absolutely. It's a must It's to meet a parent is a must. Yes. Mm-hmm. So and after that, after you see these parents, after you see the personality, how many questions they're going to ask. So then the next question is have to see if the parents are too noisy. The mother, sometimes the father also, he wants to be the boss of the new family, right? So you have to see if you want to live next to them or somewhere 2 towns down or somewhere to a different state, different country, different continent, right? So and then we have to discuss. So maybe if everything else works, and she would we had this case with my one of my chavrusas, his son, and he was getting married, very nice girl, and he wanted to go to Lakewood to learn, and she said with Lakewood, if you want to go, it's without me, or we're going to there go Shabbos, but I'm going to. She had my 7 sisters, I think, and we all of us close together to our mother, of course. So we're going to live like 5 blocks radius from my mother's house. If you want me, you're going to settle to this location. If you don't if you don't me, like for her it was like condition number 1. I mean, not number 1, but very important conditions. So you want relationships? I want to live only here. That's it. Very simple. So it was take it or leave it. Very very simple. You understand? So you have to talk sometimes, like for example, if you would not remind me this question, I would not remember. So and don't expect that people would able to read your mind and they would think offer you the answer before you ask the question. No, you must ask the questions, but in order to ask the questions, you have to prepare them 100%. And in order to prepare them, guess what? You need to spend time. And how much time, how long, sometimes a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, right? Look over, correct it, rewrite. I mean, it's for yourself, but it should be like if she's going to say this, what I'm going to answer, like what I'm going to ask next.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay, you're welcome.
Next question. If is this the next question? Oh yeah, yes. If parents bring their daughter out to be introduced, we are single and unmarried and behind in fulfilling our obligations to marry and have children. Is it even permissible to decline such advances? Or is it the evil inclination to decline the opportunity to fulfill this mitzvah?
I think in the situation, the parents bring the girl out from where to where? Are they?
It just says bring their daughter out to be introduced.
Okay, so there is no No problem. I don't know. Maybe you visiting this family, and this guy said, the father say, look, Yaakov, I wanna see. Can you come over to my house 9 p.m. tonight or 7 p.m.? He said, okay, no problem. He comes and said, okay. I want Yaakov. I want to meet my daughter Rachel. So Rachel, this is Yaakov. He actually from my shul, this and that. So of course he would ask before, but it's totally normal to introduce like that. But like in olden days. But today what they do, let them go to the date. She would not be under pressure that mother is listening next to the door, father is listening. Even the doors are closed, they're listening. Guess what? So I mean, without any pressure, right? So just introduce them that they can meet. Just introduce for 1 minute. They chit chat, and then they can go out somewhere. It's probably go out separately, right? If it's possible, so he would not drive you. Something.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
The last couple questions on the board says, if solar eclipses can be predicted scientifically for many years ahead, and also tragedies for the nations happen on these days, does that mean that tragedies are predetermined on specific dates?
If a person is asking a question of what I said before, it's a judgment on the world, on against the non-Jews. Are the tragedies are going to happen on this day or next? Maybe yes, maybe not. Right, but since it was a decree, so that this eclipse, it means that it is a decree, right? A decree meaning that it's going to happen. If negative degree, of all of the negative decrees, even against non-Jews, is subject to cancellation if they do Teshuvah. But the way the world today is, I don't think that non-Jews are running to do Teshuvah. Right? If anything, they go opposite direction. Okay. So when the tragedy is going to happen, when HaShem is going to decide. But they decide that the judgment is passed. But for example, somebody was convicted to go to the death sentence. So if somewhere in Texas, I heard people can be on the death row for 20 years. So they still do not execute. The guy is going to die from his diabetes faster than get executed. Yeah, you understand? So I don't want to compare to HaShem, but just because there is a judgment, there is no set date. So, but it could be any date. Because why? Because there is a paper, in some sense, there is a judgment. Judgment was passed. So it can happen basically any day. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
On this, since there are very specific paths of viewing of the solar eclipse, does that mean that there will be more judgment where the solar eclipse is viewable?
It doesn't matter. Just the knowledge that it exists, that it is going on somewhere. That's enough. You don't have to see it. In a sense, the way I see it, I haven't seen a proof. I haven't seen but I'm just trying to draw parallel with a rainbow, right? So the way you should not stare in the rainbow, because it's HaShem will show that the judgment was passed on the generation of the flood, right? And the generations also, this current generation is also deserving to be exterminated, but because HaShem promised to Noah not to exterminate, he is not going to, but not because they're so nice and innocent. So in some senses here, so it's not proper to stare in the rainbow. So here is also not proper to stare at this solar eclipse. I think we have better things to do. You're welcome.
So one last thing about this. So since technically we us fellows are in the process of conversion are still part of the nations, technically speaking. So should we worry about this and pray on behalf of the nations? Or
no, you should not worry about it, but you should work on. Not to worry and not to stress. So just work on your holiness. That's more important.
thank you very much, Rabbi. Was the last question.
Okay. So I guess let's stop here. We have a little extra time today. Baruch HaShem. So maybe the story we're going to do another time. HaShem. All right. Thank you very much. Good night. I wish you everybody good Shabbos. So it was a very productive week, Baruch HaShem. So maybe I'll see the schedule. Maybe we're going to advance another 5 minutes later. We'll see, 5 or 10. I'll let you know. Thank you very much. All the best. Until Monday, we're going to tell you what time. Good night.